Hey guys, give me 1 second, please. Let's see who we have here. I did hit the live button, right? I think so. Our friend Soul Stars, Sissy is here. Grand Risings, afternoon, evening, or rest. Beautiful Sis Stars and Bro Stars. How are you, my friend? Appreciate you being here. Give me 1 second. It's a bad sign when you groan when you're picking up books. It either means you have too many books, or you're 60 years old. Cat Jack is here, and Cat says, good morning. Good morning, Cat. How are you? Have a good session today. I know you said you have a session with a friend. 1 second, guys. Okay. All right. Just getting situated. I'm going to bring up the online copy, online version. It's actually the same version, online or otherwise, of the Course in Miracles. The Foundation for Inner Peace. It's an important phrase, by the way, and I'm going to talk about that today. Gives us a free online Course in Miracles. I talk about Course in Miracles every day. I consider myself a student and a teacher. It took me a long time to embrace that title of teacher. It was in reading and rereading the manual for teachers that I put off for a very long time. Peace of mind is top priority, says Soul Stars. Yes, we can say it's our only priority. It's our only goal. And I'm going to read about that. Imagine if you proceed through life with your only goal being peace of mind. True peace of mind. I wrote about that this morning as well. That peace, that unshakable peace, is the peace of God. If you don't like that term God, many don't, for all kinds of different reasons, replace it. Knowing yourself as love, accepting reality, being in accord with the Tao, realizing your Buddha nature. Use whatever term works for you. Let me see what Kat said. Well, Soul Star says she is fine. I am well, and hope the same for you. Thank you, my friend. Hey, Jamie. Jamie, how are you this morning? Hey, Dolly. Nice to see you. Sniper says, greetings, beautiful Tulkus. How are you, Sniper? Jamie says, had a squirrel. Kat says, it's out of my hands. I just show up. That's the way to do it. Just by nature of you showing up means that everything that you need will be provided for you. That's faith. We're going to talk about faith too. Hey, Hemlada Dream Girl. Again, one of my favorite YouTube channels to say. But Cheeto says $1,000. Yep, that's a lot of dollars. Hemlada says, how are you, friend? I'm good, my friend. How about you? All right. Let me dive into chapter 17. Has been a this time around rereading the course throughout the year. What I usually do is I read through the text intuitively. Every morning I let my fingers decide where to go. But at some point this year, I decided to revisit the entire workbook lesson by lesson, as well as read the text from beginning to end. I actually started with a manual for teachers and then started the text. I'm on chapter 17. Obviously, because I've been doing this forever, it's familiar territory. But even in the most familiar, I'm struck anew with insights. And chapter 17 has been all important to me. Chapter 17 is forgiveness and the holy relationship. Apt. This is part of chapter 17. This is setting the goal, which is section 6. In any situation in which you are uncertain, and that's pretty much every situation we find ourselves in, the first thing to consider very simply is, what do I want to come of this? What is it for? The clarification of the goal belongs at the beginning, for it is this which will determine the outcome. It's the opposite with the ego. If we knew that the only goal in every single moment was ultimately peace of mind, meaning accepting, opening, and loving what is present, we want to be at peace. If we're pursuing a new car, if we're pursuing a new career, if we're pursuing finding the right relationship, what do we think those things, that person, that item is going to bring us? We think it's going to bring us some sort of satisfaction that's going to last past the moment of having. Once I'm in this relationship, everything's going to be perfect. Once I have this car, man, I'm going to look so good driving my brand new Subaru Outback. Don't make fun of me. I want a Subaru Outback. With a coexist bumper sticker on the back. All right, that's optional. I love my Subaru Outback. Anyway, what do I think ultimately that's going to bring me? I could say, well, it's going to bring me transportation. I'm going to be able to get to the supermarket easier. I can save money. That I'll be able to socialize more. I'll be able to go to the bookstore and actually buy a book. All those things. And all of them true. But what do I think another book is going to bring me? Am I going to be any more enlightened, awakened having this book versus this book? If I keep tracing the goal, what is this relationship going to bring me that no other relationship did? Do I think, well, finally, I'm going to be loved and loved? What happens if it goes south, as they do on occasion? Then I'm left searching again. Ultimately, all I'm looking for is peace. Peace of mind is synonymous with the peace of God, the true peace, the peace that never passes. If I know that from the beginning, guess what? Then every relationship serves that purpose. Every item that I buy serves that purpose. And it doesn't mean don't go after the car that you want. It doesn't mean don't pursue a relationship. Know that ultimately what you're searching for isn't in that relationship. It's in you. Now that relationship becomes something other. It becomes something holy because you know they're giving you that opportunity. Hey, Commander, how are you? Commander Alpha Turkey is here. A moment of peace, temporary satisfaction. Well, a moment of true peace is eternal. True peace is eternal. And it's not even satisfaction. It is all abiding. It's the clouds of everyday life that come in. Hey, Susanna, that seems to obscure that peace. And we get a glimpse of it and we think it's temporary until the next cloud comes in. But if we know that every cloud simply obscures the ever-present peacefulness of which we truly are, if we know that peace is our inherent quality because of our connection, that we are an extension of the mind of God itself, and that everything serves the purpose of bringing us peace. Everything. Imagine someone coming in and disrupting a live stream, and if we knew that this person wasn't an obstacle for peace, but the means of choosing peace, our every single goal, our all-consuming purpose is peace and peace and peace. We are an extension of God's peace, our only goal. So everything serves that purpose. And again, it doesn't mean that we don't choose other goals. We just know that ultimately, pursuing this goal isn't the thing. The thing is peace itself. And we already have that. It's not an attainment, it's a realization. Let me dive in the conversation. Hamada says, viewed Banhan tips, bro. What is that, Hamada? Is that something that you want us to view? Do you have a link? Anyone drops a link, I'm happy to visit. Hey, and Jamie, Sometimes I miss your shorts. So if you ever want to drop a link of any short that you want people to see, man, drop it, Jamie. Come in here and say, hey guys, I got a brand new short up. Do you mind watching it? Would you like to watch it? Because I love your shorts, but they don't always pop up on my feed. Same goes with everyone. What are you doing? And how can we help you? Regardless of what it is. Chapter 17, forgiveness in the holy relationship. Everything that I love. I just love that setting that goal beforehand. I think maybe this afternoon, if you guys are around and you want, we'll do self-inquiry where we ask ourselves, who am I? What do I want? What do I truly want? What is my purpose? And what am I grateful for? And the key isn't to come up with an answer. It's to dismiss all the answers that occur to us. Who am I? I'm Eric. Nope, dismiss that. There's the Vedic yoga meditation, neti neti. Neti means not this. Everything that occurs to us when we ask, who am I? Neti, not this, not this. So I'm not Eric. Who am I? A white male. Am I? Exclusively? Is that all I am? I'm my job. What if I'm fired? What if I get another job? So we just keep dismissing. When we get to that ultimate ground of not knowing, that cosmic shrug, I don't know. Adishante, the non-duality teacher, said, you may as well start with I don't know. That don't know mine. I don't know mine, because you're going to end up there anyway. What a great place to be. That simple shrug. I don't know. It's okay not to know, because it's ineffable. It's mystery itself. God is the ineffable. And as they say in the non-duality business, don't F the ineffable. Don't F the ineffable. Hi, Mercy. Mercy says, like and share done. Thank you so much, my friend. Good morning to you. I had you up and playing. Actually, I still have you up and playing. Our friend Mercy is live right now, guys. If you want to go visit, hit the like button. Maybe leave a comment in the stream. Right at this very moment, she is deftly, dexterously uh, flouring a tomato. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool that someone can use a knife like that. If you ever see me coming to the live stream with my hand covered in Band-Aids, you know that I was trying to do what Mercy is doing right now. All right. Seppa says, we're all just like the golden child, Tolka born to want to know all. I'd say we're born already knowing all. And then those questions enter the mind. Foreign Warren says, can you do yoga effectively on your own watching videos? Yes, you can. Here's the thing. Realize the essence of yoga. Yoga has nothing to do with the physical exercises that you see. There's many, many paths of yoga. In the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, which is considered the Bible, the handbook of yoga, 197 short aphorisms on the teachings of yoga. The asanas, the postures, are mentioned 3 times. But somehow they've become synonymous with yoga. They're not. Yoga means union, to yoke, to know yourself as God. As a matter of fact, Swami Pratyahara, I'm mispronouncing. It's also co-written with Christopher Isherwood, one of the best translations of the Yoga Sutras. I have a copy in the next room on my little table next to my bed, so I can reach for it at any time. Is The Yoga Sutras with the title given to it, How to Know God. Deepak Chopra also wrote a book, How to Know God. How to know God? Know yourself. How do you know yourself? Practice yoga. And it's all yoga. I don't separate the Course of Miracles from yoga. It's all yoga. That's absolutely awesome, Sniper. That's why when we hear the truth, it's frequency like nothing else, vibration like no other. Yes. And we can't, as soon as we give it words, it becomes something else. It becomes a description. That's why the Buddha, in his silent discourse, held out a flower. Didn't say a word, just held out a flower. And of the multitudes that were there, one person understood, accepted the flower, and became enlightened. We are all extended that same flower. But most of us are like, what the heck? Why are you extending me this flower? I'd rather have a check. I'd rather have a key to a brand new car. I'd rather have a relationship. I'd rather have something. The answer's found in silence. Remember Herman Melville and Moby Dick? Silence is the only voice of God. You know words without words. I understand, and interstate that state. Nice. Sniper definitely has a way with words. Phoenix says, Squirrel, I snipered your shorts the other day. I need to do that more often. Snipered the shorts. Hey, Lucy. How are you, my friend? Lisa says, saw your flower tree shorts, Phoenix. Peace and blessings to you. Nice. Salsa says, a walking Tesla coil with a donut Taurus. I actually don't know what that means, but I don't know why it makes me smile so much. Hey, the Reinhardts. I'm finally getting that right. So, for some people, talk for a few more minutes. I'm going to go out and take my walk. It's just now stopped raining, so I'm going to try to fit that in before the rain starts again. Maybe we'll get a sunrise between rainstorm beaver sighting. Maybe I'll see a fox. I got some nice shots of owls. Lisa says, how are you, Yogi Eric? Lucy, I'm doing pretty good, my friend. How about you? When's the next live stream? So, yeah, sometimes, of course, Miracles is too daunting of a task. It was for me for a very long time. I would start it, put it away. And I did that for over a decade. I probably got extremely serious about the course where I decided this is my practice. I remember being in a bookstore cafe, my hangout for a long time after I quit drinking. A friend asked me, what do I think is the ultimate path to be enlightened, to awaken? What was the ultimate path of awakening? Both him and I were going to weekly meetings at the Self-Realization Fellowship in College Park, about 20 minutes away, studying the teachings of Paramahansa Yogananda, Yoga of Self-Realization. Very meaningful. He wrote Autobiography of a Yogi, for those who know. And so he thought I was going to answer, some yogic path that if we kept following Paramahansa Yogananda, we would get that ultimate awakening, or maybe Buddhism, as we both had an interest in Buddhism. And I said, actually, very spontaneously, clearly, and cleanly that for me, I thought it was A Course in Miracles, which is why I kept putting it off. Mercy says, nice to see you smiling, Eric. Thank you, Mercy. I appreciate that. It's nice to be smiling. So, I started reading about the Course in Miracles in like the late 80s. I bought the book in the early 90s. It sat around for a while. I started getting serious about it in the mid to late 90s. I didn't finish the actual text and the workbook until 2008. Just to show you that we never know. Let's see. Lucy says, I'm doing great. My next stream will be 5 a.m. tomorrow. Nice. Central time, 5 a.m. to 9, maybe a little longer. Lucy does some epic live stream, guys. Will be the last one before I take my little break. Then we'll be back to it after the weekend. Nice. And Mercy says, noted, Lucy, my friend. So if you think the course is just at this point too much, this has been an introduction to many people. Love is letting go of fear. It's been a great introduction for a lot of people for the Course of Miracles. It is not just inspired, it is actual teachings of the Course. And in 12 lessons, such as all that I give is given to myself, forgiveness is the key to happiness, I am never upset for the reason I think, I am determined to see things differently, I can escape the world I see by giving up attack thoughts. These are right out of A Course in Miracles, every single one. I am not the victim of the world I see, important. Today I will judge nothing that occurs. This instant is the only time there is, extremely important. Written a decade before, 2 decades before, well, not quite 2 decades, decade and a half before Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now. For fans of Eckhart Tolle, very much influenced by A Course in Miracles, and he'll quote it quite often, as does Deepak Chopra, as did Wayne Dyer. Those are some of the first people that pointed me in the direction, especially Wayne Dyer, to A Course in Miracles, where I found Marianne Williamson, and I found Gerald Jampolsky, as well as his son, who's actually a Facebook friend, Lee. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. I am responsible for what I see. That is tough to understand. I am responsible for all that I see, including people who attack me. I am responsible for that because my interpretation based upon my perception sees it as an attack, and I can see it otherwise. I can change my perception. The Course says, do not seek to change the world. Seek to change your understanding, your thoughts, your perception of the world, and the world changes. We've always tried to change the world. Let me know when that works for you. Have we ever ended warfare? Ultimately, have we ever ended crime? Brother against brother? Have we ever solved the political division between us? Have we ended world hunger? Every time we try to manipulate the world, we just end up with more trouble. We need to recreate the world, or better yet, re-envision the world. The world of peace, the world in which God created, is already here and present. The kingdom of heaven is within. That means heaven is here right now, but we're not looking for it. We're thinking it's something that we attained, and it's something far away, and it's something we get after we die. If the kingdom of heaven is right here, right now, which is the explicit words of Jesus, then why are we waiting until we die when we no longer have a body to put it into fruition right here, right now? So, 12 lessons. And maybe then you'll decide you want to pick up A Course in Miracles, but you don't have to. The lessons are here, shorter book. And I believe this was his last book. Shortcuts to God. Again, straight out of Course in Miracles. He wanted to title this, God is Letting Go of Fear. Gerald Jampolsky was an atheist for much of his life, as well as an alcoholic. Kat says, I found a loving brother in Jesus through A Course in Miracles. Me too. Or I should say I found a return to a loving brother. Because when I was a kid, being brought up and raised Catholic, loosely, I went to a Catholic school, I felt that presence until it was drilled out of me that that personal Jesus was not the Jesus that I was supposed to believe in. I was supposed to believe in a very stern and judgmental Jesus that would condemn me if I had questions, if I entertained a belief in something different, that's something other, if I didn't confess and admit that I was a sinner. Did not sound anything like the Jesus that I knew. when I read the words of the Course of Miracles that are the words of Jesus, don't have to believe it. Hey, World Tours, my friend. I found the Jesus of my original understanding before I went to Catholic school and learned otherwise. So these are the lessons, shortcuts to God. Who doesn't want a shortcut to God? Every shortcut is in this direction. How dare I point at myself? So lesson 1, forgiveness is the fastest shortcut to God. Everyone's like, why do I forgive? Why should I forgive? Forgiveness is the shortcut, the fastest path to God realization. Right here, right now, not waiting for a distant heaven. This is the different type of forgiveness. So everyone always offers me a different opinion, which is absolutely fine. I'm not trying to convince anyone. I'm not trying to change anyone's mind. I'm talking about a forgiveness that I learned and practiced through A Course in Miracles. And I'm offering that out there. This is a forgiveness that recognizes only the present moment. And it recognizes that peace, true peace, is my only goal. And in order to do that, I view everyone in their original innocence. And a lot of people like to say, but what about this and this and this? This person did that. I'm talking about their original innocence. I'm not judging the form. I'm loving the content. You can judge the form all you want. And I'm not going to argue that someone didn't do this to you on the level of form. That would be ridiculous of me. It would also be disrespectful of me. So I don't say that never happened to you, or you shouldn't do that, or you shouldn't do this. It's not my position. What I'm saying, beneath the form, the content that they have is the same content that you have. The essence of Namaste. The divinity within me recognizes and salutes the divinity within you. The innocence, the absolute love, the God spark. Now, if you refuse to see it in another, then you can't see it within yourself. You can't point and say, this person, Namaste to you, divinity I see in you, but you, Nama I just coined that term, by the way. Feel free to use it. Nama If I was a little more soulful, I'd snap my fingers and do the head shake. I can't do that. No one wants to see me actually do that, by the way. Nama not. Nama, I'm not going to see that in you, and I'm not going to see it in you, but I will see it in you. Lucy says, I have my Jesus, and I'm happy for that. P.S. I went to Catholic school too. Found myself in the sister's office many times. Me too. I mentioned before, I think it might have been yesterday, I was kicked out of one of the finest Catholic high schools in all of the country, Mount St. Joe. Cypress says, dropping a few critical thinking bombs amongst the creative work. We're going to sign off in just a minute. Phoenix says, it was another where you were carving logs, and it was amazing. And he pointed out California and global warming. Let's see. Stephen says, keep going, and you're singing the Muppets. I'm singing the Muppets? I'm not sure I could. Oh, Banana Nana, now I know. I remember that song. Solstice says, Jeshua, I'm not going to be able to pronounce that, is my homie. Flower of Life. Have you ever read Bob Frizzle, Soul Stars? I did for a number of years in the late 90s. I did his breath work. Am I being rickrolled again, Sniper? Sniper's got me several times. I'm going to play it. I can't play it out loud for risk of copyright strike. I just never know. I always love that, Sniper. I see Kermit. Remember that well, 1976. It's a good year for me. Thought I was pretty cool in 1976. Phoenix says, yes, the Big Egg District. Another name for Jesus. Sniper says, yeah, great memories. So, shortcuts to God. Smiles and joy will be my way today. I am willing to consider the possibility that I am more than my body. I will see everyone as my teacher of patience, which is another way of saying that my ultimate goal is peace. If we're impatient with someone, they're teaching us, I can be patient. I can choose to be patient. There's no cruelty in God. There is none in me. God goes with me wherever I go. Tenderness and gentleness will be my way today. I try to live my life exactly as that, with tenderness and gentleness to the best of my ability. Varying degrees of success, I'll be honest with you. So anyway, if the course is too much, I recommend these over A Return to Love by Marianne Williamson, over many, many, many other books talking about A Course in Miracles. Why I recommend these? Well, for one, it has many, many pictures, drawing. I like books with drawing. It gives my fingers a break as I'm reading. But more importantly, I like the fact that it's in daily bite sizes. I like giving lessons. So the great thing with the workbook, 365 lessons. But Phoenix says, which I'm testing Yogi's patience. You never, ever test my patience, Soul Stars. You always help me abide in patience. You always offer me such a warm and gentle presence. Hey, MK. MK says, good morning. Good morning to you, my friend. Phoenix says, you're seeing it in action now, folks? Let's see. I haven't read a lot of books, Yogi, but I always consider your recommendations. I don't know, as you need to read a whole lot of books. I read a lot of books because I like books. Ultimately, all we need to do is practice forgiveness and patience. That's it. Someone would say, should I meditate? And I'm a meditation teacher. Should I meditate to be awakened? No, be kind, forgive. Should I do breath work to be at peace? No, be kind, forgive. Should I study Buddhist scriptures? If you want, if you feel called to. Ultimately, be kind and forgive. Now, meditation helps calm the mind and the body so that we are ultimately more forgiving, calmer, more gentle. It erases the emotional patterns that we put in place for a lifetime, maybe lifetimes, which makes it easier. We see through what they call the mental afflictions that we all have. Breath work puts us into that parasympathetic state, which is rest and digest, calm and gentle. Very useful, very helpful. The yoga asanas helps us reside more peacefully within our own bodies. But in the end, be kind, forgive. I think that might be our closing message. Soulstar says, I appreciate illustrations from time to time. Helps me to visualize and remain engaged to the topic. All right, now that I know that, I'm going to do caricatures throughout the entirety of my live stream from this moment on. I'm going to have a notebook with me. I'm going to draw pictures of what I'm talking about. Not really. Phoenix says, I blame Soulstar. I blame Soulstars. Dolly, you have been nothing but a source of love, my friend. It's Squirrel's fault. Well, yeah, I agree. We all know that. But no one has more patience than a sniper. Hi, Karen. Hello, hope I'm doing well. I hope you're doing well, Karen. Phoenix says, MK Fishing, don't think you're practicing. Patience with me right now. Uh, with that tone, just saying. MK says, sounds like you're just blaming everyone, Phoenix. Commander Zaffin, Commander Alpha Turkey. All right, I'm going to put shoes on. I'm going to go out and take a walk. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. Thanks for putting up with me, guys. So, Kat, I know you said you're got something going on today. I hope you are still able to hang out with us sometime. Solskjaer says, you and all the beautiful people in the chat are enough illustrations for your life. Agreed. And let's use our magic eraser to erase the stories that we've given other people. Do you ever have anyone who show up repeatedly in your live streams? Not my live stream, in your live streams, maybe my live stream too. And you almost inwardly groan. Not that person again. We had someone who came in and did a little bit of attacking a couple days ago. Actually showed up on my community page and left some very kind and loving comments right after he did that. If they came in right now, would we be able to take out our magic eraser and erase the story that we have of that person from our previous encounter and see them in the light of their original innocence, their original awakening, the original awareness right now? Would our own original awareness be able to match theirs? And will we have that namaste or the nama What do you think? That's the nature of Ho'oponopono, Hawaiian shamanistic reconciliation and forgiveness. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I flip those last two around quite often. Semper says, my esoteric spade is my eraser. Oh yeah, gotta have a spade. Work in the soil. Lucy says, have a nice walk, Yogi Eric. Maybe you will get lucky to see an albino squirrel. I hope so. That would be awesome. We had an albino deer in the neighborhood 3 or 4 years ago. Phoenix sent us some love to Karen. Lucy says, yes, he was attacking me. No, he's saying blocked. I agree with the Namana'a. Hey, I'd love to see someone who's funkier than me actually say that with some flair. And I think Lucy is the one. Lucy has that, she has that soul that she'd be able to do it and give it that, what I'm looking for. Solskjaer says, thank you, thank you, thank you. As I feel the Krishna Christos in all of you. Absolutely. So, that magic eraser, Ho'oponopono. I love talking about Ho'oponopono. It's a lot of O's, a lot of P's, a lot of Onos, a lot of Ponos. I was going to say a lot of hoes, but I don't want you guys to think badly of me. Krana says, not sure what it wanted. Oh, an albino praying mantis came to me 2 days in a row. Maybe it just wanted to be near you, my friend. Your presence. We all want to bask in the company of love. Simpa says, but without singing into the Muppet theme, gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard. Soul Stars is laughing. Phoenix says, Commander, that was me. Nice. Hey, let's mod up Commander Alpha Turkey. We need a new commander in the house. So, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. We're not saying I'm sorry to a person. We're not saying I'm sorry to someone else. What we're saying, we're recognizing that in a all-pervading consciousness itself, in ultimate awareness, I recognize that my own faulty thoughts of who I thought you were, who I thought I was, who I thought this situation was doing, what I thought this situation was doing, I'm participating in because it's a participatory universe. I'm sorry for whatever thought that I might have had that has contributed. Please forgive me, because now that I know, I can think otherwise. I can offer only love. Thank you for the opportunity to recognize that you and I are one, yoga, yoked, joined together. And I love you because I love you seals the deal that in reality, only love is real. Nothing unreal exists. Therein lies the peace of God. Yes, Soulstar says, now that we know, we can change our minds and wrap our hearts around it. And think of Ho'oponopono as that ultimate magic eraser. We're erasing the whiteboard of every story we've ever told the universe about ourselves and about others. We're erasing. We're cleaning and cleaning and cleaning until we get to 0 point. 0 point is that Zen state. God consciousness itself, Krishna consciousness itself, Christ consciousness itself. That's who you are. That's how you exist right now. And you get there by cleaning away the story of all that you believe you are. Coming home. We're coming home. As Ram Dass says, we're all walking each other home. Carl says, I'm kind of jealous of you for believing in God. I don't believe in God. So there's a big difference there. I understand what you're saying, though, but I don't believe in God. Ani says, offering only love is very difficult some days. Any advice to keep you on the keel? Yes, relax. You don't need to. You don't need to offer only love always, because who and what you are is already love. So just keep being yourself, and you're going to mess up. Can you give yourself love when you mess up? Don't think of it as, I need to give you love. I need to give this person love. I need to give that situation love. Can you be love as often as possible? Can you just remind yourself, even though this is occurring, my very nature is peacefulness itself. Even though I got mad at this person, my very nature is love itself. Cut yourself a break. Be easy on yourself. When you're easy on yourself, you find that you're easier on other people as well. What do you mean? You're not an atheist? I am not an atheist. But if I would have a belief in God, it means I would be thinking of God as something different and aside from myself, as an entity outside of me. I believe in this book. I believe it's a book. It's a thing. I believe I could take this book and whack someone across the head with it, as was done in the Catholic school that I went to. I believe in gravity, even though I don't see it, because if I drop this book, it's going to fall. Beliefs. Reality itself doesn't need belief. God is just a description of what is. When I practice God, I realize God. Practicing God means practicing peace. Practicing peace means forgiving and forgiving and forgiving. Like Sampa says, Carl, God is a word from a book. It's a description of a description of a description. That's why the Tao Te Ching, the very first sentence, the Tao that can be told is not the true Tao. And then it goes on for 81 chapters describing what the Tao is. But all the while you smile and know that's not the Tao. The Tao is. That's why in A Course in Miracles they say, we say God is, and then we fall silent. Because anything that comes after is a symbol of a symbol. Commander says, I know God. And we have God in us. We are God inside and out through love and forgiveness. Beautifully said, Commander. This is why you're our commander. Every chat should have a commander and a sniper. MK says, I would call that just being a decent person, or just live. There you go. And you don't even have to call it that if you don't want to. You can just be. If you're a decent person, you don't need to go to a church of decent people, do you? You don't need to show up and get an offering of decency. You don't need to sit in a very hard wooden pew and have someone stand in front of you and talk about what's going to happen to you if you're not going to be a decent person. You just live your life. You don't need to believe in God. Be kind. Forgive. The Church of Decency. I wonder if I should be a minister. Let's see. Lucy says, I'm a very loving person to everyone, but I am very unloving to people that do me dirty. I say my piece and then send them on their way. Block forever with love and kisses. As always, it's not for me to ever tell anyone otherwise. If what we do brings us peace of mind, then I'm not going to argue with someone. Why would I? That doesn't help my peace of mind, does it? Doesn't help their peace of mind. Serving my Redeemer says, Romans 12:18. Hey, Redeemer, it's been a little while. If it be possible, as much as lieth in you, live peaceably with all men. Love. Perfect. Semper says, but that's another story. Oh, Solsar says, I still use the word God, but I understand we're all fragments of the source. I'm okay being wrong. Me too. I have to admit, I'm okay with Soul Stars being wrong. I'm okay with me being wrong too. I'm not trying to be right. I'm just talking, guys. I'm just talking about things that I have used to help me be happy through a life of not always being happy. Sepa says, I know destiny and equilibrium and also buoyancy. I used to believe in gravity. Again, it's just a description. Gravity. What happens if I, in 16 whatever, I was the one sitting under that apple tree and I got hit in the head by the apple, and instead of saying, oh, wow, let's call this gravity. What if instead I said, what the heck, man? Or what if I accepted the apple as a gift from God, my description of God, and I ate the apple and I was happy and I fell asleep, took a nap, and I woke up and continued in my life and didn't make up a story about anything. We always have that option. Lucy says, I greatly respect that about you, and Eric. Thank you, Lucy. And I respect you and all you do. Solsar says, exactly, working towards non-duality. There's no good versus bad or right versus wrong. Nope. There's just life happening. That's non-duality. If you want a description of non-duality, stuff happening. You are it. You're the stuff, you're the happening. If you want to do an experiment in non-duality in the next live stream, let me know, and we'll go revisit Douglas Harding and the way of headlessness. We will realize our own headless state in an instant, a Zen Satori. You will understand Zen in its essence, the Buddhist Sutra of emptiness is form, form is emptiness, without saying a single word. You'll point and you'll know. And then we can all just give that great, great shrug and continue on our lives, knowing who we are. Redeemer says, instead of gravity, you can call a tragedy looking for another strategy. Hey, I like that. Kat says, let's do it this afternoon. We will do it this afternoon. Remind me, guys. Solskjaer says that would be amazing. All right. Amen. Douglas Harding. The adventures of having no head. Guess what? You are already it. You're already headless. You're awakened. You are enlightened. We're just going to remind each other. And here's the wonderful thing. You'll get it in an instant, or what will seem like an instant, or what might seem like time, but you also know that time has no ultimate meaning. And then you'll forget. But you'll never, ever truly let it go. You'll know. It's all occurring right now. I gotta go. Take my walk. Guys, come on, almost an hour in the morning. Sorcerer says, love that, Redeemer. Sniper said the apple fell not being, it was being pulled. It was ready to fall because the tree grew many years to give the energy to it above the ground. It originally came from it in its seeds of rebirth. I think the snake threw it. I think the snake threw it at us. How the snake managed to do it without any arms, I don't know. Or I'm surprised in the great patriarchy, I know I pronounced that wrong, that Newton didn't blame it on Eve. It was Eve. Eve threw the apple at me. Punish her. Agape Omni love to all, to you as well. Thank you, Erica Point. I was thinking about you this morning. Another great live. Thanks so much. All right, guys. We're going headless later today. I'm excited. Hope I remember to put that in the title. Let's go headless. Oh, Phoenix says, and you missed my song reference? I'm sorry, Dolly. I love your song references too. Hey, Yogi and friends. If loving you is wrong, I don't want to be right. And it's a, who did that? Country song. 1980s, right? Unless I'm mistaken. Lucy says, later. Thanks for pointing that out to me, Lucy. Love you anyways. I appreciate that. MK says, fun fact, apple trees grown from seeds produce random apples. All the kinds we know are cloned, not sprouted ones. I actually did know that, but thank you. Yes, love to you, Dolly. Commander, we get a peace sign. Peace to you, my friend. All right, I'm out of here. I'm going to say Nama yes and Nama weird to our wonderful friend, Cat and Jack. On our way to Namaste. Amen. All right. See y'all. Take care.